everyone, happy gardeners. Today is the day to give a haircut to this beautiful, wonderful, messy climber. This is a repeat bloomer, and usually we don't give a haircut to repeat bloomers during the summer, but my generous gardener, this is Rose Generous Gardener, is very old. It's getting to be 7-8 years old, and this year it is getting to be too top heavy, and that's the time when we need to give the rose a haircut. So when I just started raising roses in my garden, I didn't use any gloves, and oh boy, I had heavy scrapes all the way here. So the equipment we need for this job, heavy duty job I must say, is a pair of good gloves, and I highly recommend these gloves. They are lambskin gloves. My hands are large hands, and this is size L for females. Excellent gloves will protect your hands all the way up to your elbows from any scratches, and you can go inside the rose and take care after all those long dead canes. Another thing when you need for the job is these clippers, and sometimes, I'm not sure if I would need it today, but we would need a little saw to take care after those long canes. Now, because in spring, when I was doing the major trimming of this rose, I was very forgiving, and there were two questionable canes which I didn't want to cut out because I wanted this rose to be big and nice and beautiful, and I didn't cut them out. I decided not to, and sure enough, they died. So today I'm going to cut them out. I will show you how I do it, and this way I will be making more space for beautiful canes. I would be trimming all this stuff and taking basically half of the rose down. It's going to be a big job. So the first thing what we do, we go look at the bottom of the rose. Come here and I will show you. Just look at the bottom of this rose. There's a lot of thing going on here. Now look, this is one rose. It's just covered, all the root system is covered with dirt, so you don't see it, but this is one rose. So you see this? All this is dead. So I'm going to cut it out. Look at this. This is dead. This thing was created this year. This was created last year, and this is probably 2 years old. And look at this beautiful, wonderful shoot which came out right here. That's exactly what we want. A very valuable young fellow. I think I was showing him in my previous videos. Look how big he went. He went through the rose all the way up there. So he is very valuable. Now I am not going to cut this old stem because this stem looks healthy and good, but I will get rid of these old ones. And I have to have a good access to all this area here. So, okay, dead as anything. Now this one I'm going to cut with a saw. Now rule number one, we start cutting rows from the bottom up. So whatever we see that it's not working, we cut it out. I don't want to damage the other shoot here. Now this one is also dead. Oh yeah, this is cut out. Now what I'm going to do, there was another one I wanted to cut out, which is this one. We have here our nepeta. We will move it aside. You see this one? Or maybe this one. Hold on. Let me follow. Yeah, this one is not really a healthy one. Look, it's twisted. It has a lot of divisions, crooked stems, so I'm going to take it out. You know what? And the rest I will take with the clippers. Gosh. Okay, good. I cut it out. All right, now. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to slowly cut section by section, and I will follow the stem all the way to the canopy there, and I will take all these heavy stems first, cut them out, throw them out. Now I have a little problem here. Achie, I got stuck in this rose. Look here, what we have here. We have a beautiful little nest. Little cardinals was doing several years already, a family here. And you see, I didn't do anything here because I wanted this nest to stay. I didn't cut these heavy stems. And instead of being on top here, they lowered themselves down. So this year I'm taking this nest out and maybe I will put it back and hopefully it will stay and cardinals would be back next year to do their little family again here. You know, the main shoot coming out. You see this beautiful long one? He's going to be next year when I bend him in. He will produce nice roses on top. The reason why this rose is not as full here at the bottom, because it's growing all the way up. You see, there is no space for me to spread this rose nicely, as you can do on a nice trellis. This is an arch, and I have to train this rose to go up. So eventually it gets bare feet, which is fine, I don't mind. I look at this, I planted nice little boxwoods here. So on that side and on this side. So I just imagine, you know, a lot of gardening is in our heads. We imagine things, how they're going to happen. So imagine a nice trained ball, a topiary here, and another ball right there. So it will be a nice frame here with our little goosey here. So here we go. That's a plan for this spot. Now, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to follow all these canes from the bottom up, and they say that generous garden as this rose is not really prickly. It doesn't have a lot of, what's the name of these guys? It doesn't have a lot of horns. It doesn't, but the big stems, they're quite dangerous. So this is what I'm doing now. This is step one, taking down all the stems and throwing them out. It's a process, I would say. It's a big job usually. All right. So basically what I'm doing right now, I'm cutting all stems out and all the growth which comes on them. So that's going to be actually a lot of kind of old spindly stuff. Like look at this, look at this, look at this branch. How many cuts it has, how uneven it is. It's probably not going to create a rose next year. So it's good to take these old kind of spindly things out from your climbing rose. Something happened here. What is this here? I know it looks scary, right? But this climber needs it to get it nice and tight, to attach all the long shoots to the structure, because if we don't do that, all these shoots will be moved in the winter wind and they can really get damaged. And then you basically get, in spring, you get dead wood because it was so damaged during winter that it's not livable in spring. Look at this. All these old stems, You see this old stem, it's probably 3-4 years old. It has all sorts of wounds, it looks very dull, and it creates all sorts of weird little spindly little growths. It cannot support good healthy shoots, so I'm cutting all these old stems out. And don't worry, you're not going to kill a rose. A rose will be having energy to support new shoots, and new shoots will create healthy roses for you next year. I know my rose is going to be looking quite bare. Oh gosh. But I know it's needed for that rose. For it to be healthy, going into winter and getting a nice beautiful bloom next spring. So phase 1 is done. I cutted all the dead wood and everything what grew on dead wood. You see how much I took down? It looks scary, but it's okay. Now next step what I'm going to do, I'm going to tie in all these long shoots, and look at this. Just look at this one. You see this long stem? It was growing and it created really spindly growth here. So I cut it out here, and I'm trying to take this side shoot, which is, look at this, how humongous it looks, how big it is. And I'm going to make this side shoot into the main shoot. So I will train it like this. I will tie it up, and excuse me, and I will train it to go all the way around. I don't think this will produce any roses because it will be facing down, but this would be a new cane, first year cane, and it will create a lot of beautiful shoots next year. So step number 2, tie all these nice long shoots in. Whichever I can keep, I will keep. You see, like this guy, come here, look, I also did the same. I cut it, and if you look at this wood, you see this damage. This was probably this cane was rubbing against another cane, and you see how much damage is sustained. It tries to heal itself, and I'm not sure if it will live through the winter, but if it will live, I will keep it. Look at this, where that thing traveled. You see that? And it created a nice rose. How beautiful. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. Now, the main reason why we are tying these long shoots is we don't want them to get damaged in the wind, going through the wind. See, again, another long shoot. I hope it's not going to snap. Oh gosh. No, it's not. Good, good, good. Let me get my hands on. Now, I don't think how happy this rose is going to be going down. I don't think it will be very happy. So if not, I will trim it right here. Not a biggie. Once all the leaves will find its own way back to the sun, it will look so much better. And everything is tied in and ready for winter. It starts to get a little diseases here and there. It's a healthy rose, but still, I took all the yellow leaves down, all the diseased leaves down, went through all of it. Oh, and I forgot to put a little bird nest back. Oh, look at this little thing. I'm going to cut this thing out and put it together with this thing. Okay, look, little birdies are going to live here again. Oh, look at this little thing. All right, I'm going to put it back. Oh gosh, look at this. All right, that's it. Hopefully the birdies will be back in spring. All right, so that's it. Job is done. Looks like half of the rose went down. I looked at it and I said, oh gosh, what did I do? But it's actually good. Once the rose readjusts all its leaves, will face the sun, it will be okay. And in spring, I might lose some canes again, but the spring will come and I will do again the pruning on this rose. Now, look at this mess. All this is going into the garbage. When you do a trimming of your rose, especially in summer, never throw anything in the compost pile because there are a lot of diseased things here. So all this I'm going to collect and put it into the garbage. That's it, job is done. Happy gardening. I will see you next time.